Once again, the doc is in. Dr. Ryan Stanton, our chief medical contributor, with us in studio, and the perfect timing for this because major story, as we talked about earlier in Cincinnati, involving Bill's safety, Hamlin.
Yeah, Damar Hamlin taken down. He made a tackle during the game last night against the Bengals in Cincinnati, and he just fell. And you kind of think that you know what it is, Doc. Tell us a little bit more about what's going on with Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes your breath away. Millions watching Monday Night Football, expecting a great game between the Bills and the Bengals, and all of a sudden the player's down. And we get the announcement that CPR is in progress. And what likely is the diagnosis here is Commotio Cordis. And this is a phenomenon associated with the heart and the rhythm of the heart. So the electrical activity of the heart, as our atrium kicks and then our ventricles kick, there's a recharge episode, and that's the T wave. And if there's an impact to the chest at just that time, a tiny millisecond of a millisecond, it can kick the person into VFib arrest. Now the problem is with VFib arrest, that is a fatal arrhythmia if it does not intervene, meaning CPR, meaning early recognition of application of an AED or defibrillator. And that is the key here, because every minute that goes with a VFib arrest that is not addressed, we're talking about a drop in survival of approximately 7%. So it's integral that this is done on the scene as quickly as possible. And really, it's a scene that for us in emergency medicine, almost immediately, I had dozens of texts, emergency physicians around the country, talking about Commotio Cordis and some of the other issues associated with sudden cardiac arrest in young folks and children, and in this case, somebody 24 years old that you don't expect to see.
What is the recovery going to look like for him?
Well, the hope is that the intervention was soon enough and early enough that he's got intact brain function, meaning the amount of time that his heart was stopped, that he wasn't getting sufficient oxygen to the brain. With CPR, it takes about 2 minutes for there to get enough circulation to actually provide oxygen to the brain. And so there is a very narrow window, and it has to be addressed very quickly, and that's really going to be the take-home message.
And any other big takeaways from this?
Absolutely. For everybody out there, this is just a highlight of the reason you need to know CPR, hands-only CPR, and why we also need to have AEDs at every sporting event, every gym. You need to know where they are, and you need to know how to use them.
It's crazy to me that you were saying it was a split second that made all the difference.
Absolutely, and as you saw, the teams there, the paramedics, the physicians that are on the scene, the training staff, almost immediately recognized if you watch the video and started to intervene, and that will be, if there is a good outcome to this story, that will be the reason right there.
Well, Doc, appreciate you being in studio today. Obviously, huge story. We'll continue to follow it as the day goes on.
Absolutely.
And we have a half hour more of the news this morning right after this.
You're watching Fox 56 News. Our home, your news.